Okay, this is probably going to be take 3 or 4. I don't know, I lost count. This idea of a sort of update on Snyderverse, which technically is the DCEU. Snyder cast all those characters, and so as long as the DCEU continues, you got a Snyderverse. But of course, what people mean by Snyderverse is a continuation of his vision for the Justice League sequels. That would be Justice League 2 and 3. And to expand on that, one would hope for more Henry Cavill Superman films. Man of Steel 2 and Man of Steel 3. And a Ben Affleck Batman film and or series, whatever. But it's looking more and more likely that won't happen. Ben Affleck says he doesn't want to do IP films anymore. But then there's people who suggest that that could be just like the scenario of Andrew Garfield is not going to be in Spider-Man No Way Home. Not only was he in it, he kind of stole the film. And now there's people wanting Amazing Spider-Man 3 and so on and so forth. And then there's Henry Cavill, who openly did the very opposite statement of what Affleck said. He says he wants to do the Superman film and all that. And the only speculation of any appearance of him is that he might be in the Flashpoint film, or it's probably just going to be footage from Man of Steel. There's talk of Michael Shannon returning as Zod, and Ante Child returning as Feora and stuff like that for this magical mystery tour of the DC multiverse that the Flash is going to do in that film, and all that stuff. The other thing was The Rock wanted Black Adam versus Superman. And he actually commissioned to have concept art done of that, and it's Henry Cavill's Superman that he's facing off against. So could it be that he just has Henry Cavill as Superman in his Black Adam films? Well, okay, but that's not really a continuation of Man of Steel. That's what Henry Cavill actually wants. And it may be something Dwayne would like to do, but that doesn't necessarily mean he gets to do it. So that's the situation with all of that. And as we go forward, it seems less likely that they would return. Meanwhile, the rest of what Snyder has wrought remains. Well, except for Cyborg. Ray Fisher kind of screwed the pooch on that one. So you've got Ezra, Gal Gadot, and or Gal Gadot. Sorry, I always get that wrong. And Jason Momoa returning, and Wonder Woman apparently, yes, will be in the Flash movie as well. So there's all that, and then they're going to do their multiverse thing, similar to No Way Home, which apparently No Way Home is actually they got word of what DC wanted to do, and of course they're so slow and drag their feet that Marvel beat them to the punch and did No Way Home. But now the rumor structure, which I didn't even realize when I was taping this, it's just I was looking at it and started to guess that this might be the direction. And then lo and behold, here comes the likes of Grace Randolph and all this saying she's hearing this. So Flashpoint, of course, all along the rumors is that it's going to reboot the DCEU and change things up as they move forward. And for the longest time, I just assumed that meant that Robert Pattinson would become the new Batman that they would have. Instead, no, he's going to remain in his own little pocket universe, separate from all of this. Why is that? I don't know. My guess is this is part of Bad Robot's hold and pull on things, and so it could turn out to be really bad, because Matt Reeves comes out of that. Whether that's considered a Bad Robot project, I don't think it is, but nevertheless, him and JJ are old-time buds and that sort of thing. And meanwhile, JJ, he only wants his Superman to be the Superman, and that's going to be his Black Superman project that is being written by a racist. Then there's Michael B. Jordan, but that's a separate thing, which would be from HBO Max. Probably, if you're going to have a Black Superman movie, his will probably be the better one to watch. But nevertheless, that's it. So no Superman. There's no similar to, there's no The Superman movie like there is The Batman movie, So what's the deal? Well, apparently, after you have the Flash film and everything's turned around like New 52, either Ben Affleck's Batman is dead or never existed or something along those lines, and so all you have left is Batgirl. Yeah. And then you have the Supergirl that Sasha Calle is playing. So, which she looks more like a character from the comics that was supposed to be Superman's daughter from a future timeline and stuff. But depending on how all the things end up, I suppose that would have her just, I don't know, trapped in the DCEU. And apparently Michael Keaton will also be trapped in the DCEU to be a part of the Batgirl film. The other thing is that I see some people claiming that the Batgirl film is going to come out before the Flash movie. They're still filming the Batgirl film. I think there's some filming for J.K. Simmons to do either this month or February. Can't remember exactly. But as far as the Flash goes, they're pretty much done. So I'm not sure what the release dates are. So if that's the case, if it was to come out first, then the idea would be that Michael Keaton might just be a cameo in there, and it's referring to a changed universe or something along those lines. One scenario would be that you have your Batgirl movie, and she fights Firefly and all that stuff. Maybe even Ben Affleck's in it. There's been rumors that he is, and others saying he's not. But he makes an appearance in it, and all that stuff. So it's established. Oh yeah, because it's J.K. Simmons, it's his Commissioner Gordon, so it's fitting in with all of that. Plus the logos on Barbara Gordon's uniform, and seeing some of the behind-the-scenes shots is very similar, or it's not very similar. It's exactly the same logo from the Flash behind-the-scenes shots of the police cars in the Flash movie, with Ben Affleck's Batman riding around on a motorcycle and all that. So it's the same universe. It's connected there. So the idea would be she has her story with Firefly. She solves the case and wins it, and then she decides she wants to go see Batman again. So she goes to Bruce Wayne's place, and then Bruce Wayne sitting at his chair or whatever spins around, and it's Michael Keaton. What's going on? Well, the universe has changed. To be continued in The Flash, and then you find out why this happened and all that. Yeah, I suppose that could be, but then that establishes the fact that the universe has changed, and there never was a Ben Affleck Batman. Meanwhile, people were upset about this, and Ezra apparently responded, I guess on Twitter or Instagram, I can't remember which, saying that, oh no, we're not going to erase the Snyderverse and all that. Well, when they're establishing the idea of multiverse and alternate timeline stuff, that means, okay, in some alternate timeline, it still happened. But in this new one that we're going forward with, it didn't. So, now for Batgirl, it wouldn't matter too much, because she's Barbara Gordon, she's Jim Gordon's daughter, and so she becomes Batgirl. However, they're pushing this further and further away from her story, and where she has alternate universe Bruce Wayne as a mentor rather than actual Batman, and it changes things so much that it's not even the same thing, and she doesn't even really ever get to be Batgirl. She's going to be this Ghostbusters idea of a woman taking the man's place. And if you don't like it, you hate women. It didn't work for Ghostbusters. It didn't work for Terminator. It's not going to work. You can't shame people into seats and all that. Instead, you should just do a Batgirl movie and leave it at that. Well. Meanwhile, there's Supergirl. How is that going to work? If she's supposed to be this alternate timeline universe woman, that's just even further removed from Supergirl's story. I mean, it would be of some interest for a multiverse story that she is Superman's daughter, and that she actually meets Superman while he's young and everything, and stuff like that, and you can have a moment there. But I just don't know where they go with this, unless they change it up, and when the whole time warp has happened, and then there is a Supergirl, it looks like her, but this is Kara, and she's not Superman's daughter, she's his cousin and all that sort of thing, and they might do that. Of course, in the Snyderverse version, Supergirl was an ancient entity, a distant cousin of Superman. It's a long-winded, pretty cool comic book thing they did. Anyway, I'm sure that's all abandoned. It's just. Meanwhile, they're both derivative characters of male characters. Your female superhero is Wonder Woman. There's others within the DC universe you could you could use and make films about, and go forward from there. But this business of constantly falling onto the derivative characters and then using things like feminism or what have you as a shield to protect it so it can't possibly lose, it's disrespectful to the characters. And it's kind of sad you flung these young women into these roles and put them in that position when you should have just gave them a decent superhero story and left it at that. So here's your new Justice League. So basically, there's no Affleck and there's no Cavill. So, but you get all the rest. There you go, and you'll like it. I don't know, but my guess would be that as to why this happens, that's somewhat of a bad robot playing here when it comes to Superman, perhaps even with Batman. But Batman is way too big to just abandon that altogether. So you're going to have a Batman franchise. It just won't have anything to do with a shared DC universe. And if they think that's going to compete with Marvel. Now, Marvel's shooting itself in the foot as we speak, but they just had a big win. I know it's Sony's influence, but at the same time, it's still MCU. And but if this is true, if this is at their end game or the outcome of the Flash film, then the Flash will be the polar opposite of No Way Home, where everyone loved No Way Home, and they'll hate Flash No Way Home. Because the fandom and the people who are interested in DC movies, they want to see Superman, and it's overwhelming that Henry Cavill is the one they want to see. They never got to see him get the shot that we thought he deserved, and that he could really do a good Superman film. And this is just stupid. But wouldn't surprise me a bit, because Warner Brothers has been very stupid. Meanwhile, the big merger has yet to arrive. This could be a lot of shenanigans to sabotage everything. I mean, that's how spiteful people are in that world. So it's a possibility that that's what they're doing. Everything could change once, hey, we got to make some money here. We need to give him a goddamn Superman, And so as for Batman, whether Affleck is done or not, if that's just he's pulling an Andrew Garfield, and he's not really serious about never wanting to do any of these films again, then he would show up and do it. Or you could recast the role with someone who's of contemporary age as Ben Affleck, and it's the same character, all this business with Michael Keaton and all that. The best thing to do with Michael Keaton is set up a Batman Beyond movie. And you can even connect it to Tim Burton's Batman universe, if you will, and explore all that. But what's already established, So the idea is that, is Ben Affleck going to die or be erased or whatnot? There is the scene of this Batman cowl, and it looks like there's blood on it and all this stuff. But that's Michael Keaton's Batman cowl. So, I don't know. So, that goes back to, is Batgirl supposed to be a precursor to the Flash? And then Michael Keaton dies in the Flash, whereas there's some scene with him at the end of Batgirl for some reason. Or Flash has happened, and he's all you got left of Bruce Wayne, and he's just this refugee from another universe who's stuck there along with Supergirl, I guess. And then eventually you have Batgirl versus Supergirl, except in this one they make love. Well, yeah, sure, why not? So anyway, there's your new Justice League, possibly. Is there any credibility to this speculation? Yeah, there is. This does sound like something they might do. It's a terrible idea, And again, yes, that would be the opposite of what No Way Home did. Or No Way Home was very respectful to these other properties and whatnot, and actually improved their Spider-Man, in my opinion. This could be the exact opposite, where things are much worse than they were at the beginning. It's Supergirl film, Batgirl film, fine, go ahead. But the idea that there's no Superman, there's no Batman in your DC shared universe, which would reflect the actual DC comics, with no Superman and no Batman, that's just beyond stupid. So, didn't learn anything, did they? Doesn't seem to be. But hopefully, this is all BS. And I don't know what they would do with Ben Affleck if he wants to be out. Best thing to do is eventually recast the role and have a Batman in that universe if they're not going to do it with Pattinson. And there you go. That would be great. And then Henry Cavill, give him a deal. Give him a Superman movie. And then everyone will be happy. They sure will. They sure will. Anyway,
thanks for watching and listening. Say, while you're still here, why not like and subscribe and share with your many friends? Yes. Also, check out my mini stores in the link description below. Yes, where you can get t-shirts, hats, mugs, all those goodies with my artwork on them. Oh, yeah. And head over to indieplanet.com and pick up a copy of my comic book, Night Night. Oh, yeah. You can also catch me at my podcast, Mr Nailsin Show, on RadioMisfits.com. And you can also watch my videos on BitChute.com and now on Rumble.com. Oh, my goodness. So many places to watch me and my stuff. Oh, yeah. And if that's not enough for you, well, you can follow me on many social media platforms and say hi to your old pal, Mr. Nailsin.